Happy International Women's Day. Happy Mother's Day. In fact, this week is our season. This week, next week, this month is our month. And so I just wanted to do a big shout out to all the women out there, all the amazing women out there. Like, shout out to you guys. In fact, I was sharing with my husband and a friend a few days back that, hi Wumi, thanks for joining me. I was telling my husband that this season, grandmothers have my heart. Like, grandmothers are the real deal. So they've gone through their own season of being mothers, and now they've graduated to being mothers and grandmothers. And you know the way their grandchildren, they have a soft spot for their grandchildren. So their grandchildren can make some crazy demands that even we, our children, couldn't make. And they sacrifice themselves, they show up, they show strong. In fact, this Women's Day, Mother's Day, this season, I'm just celebrating all the grandmothers out there. Like, shout out to all the grandmas out there. You all are the real MVP. Always showing up, always showing strong. A few days back, I saw a friend's mom taking her granddaughter to school. Of course, it was about a 10 to 15 minute walk, but it was cold. And she was just, taking this little girl to school. And my heart just melted. I'm like, oh, grandmothers. You guys are the absolute best. Shout out to all the grandmothers out there. For me personally, I'm celebrating you guys this season. I'm celebrating you guys. God should bless me with my billions. I'm just going to be dashing grandmothers money this season. So shout out to all the grandmothers out there. Yeah, we celebrate you. We celebrate you. And a loud shout out to all my amazing women out there, mothers, singles, all the women out there. You guys are doing a whole lot. Do you know how much you're impacting your world? At your jobs, in your family, at your church, everywhere women are making impacts. So we are worth the celebration. Because I'm sure men are about to say, is it every day that they're celebrating women? Is it? What are you guys saying? We deserve to be celebrated every morning, afternoon, night, every day, 365 days a year. Do you know how much we are birthing into our world? All the amazing ideas, all the wonderful impacts, the innovations that we are birthing, we are nurturing, we are influencing, we are inspiring, we are motivating, we're culturing things. Come off it. Women are, oh my goodness, we're too much. And so I'm just celebrating women today. I'm shouting out all my amazing friends, acquaintances, mentors, everyone that is a woman out there. You are more than deserving of these celebrations. So don't allow anybody to make you feel bad that you're being celebrated every day, every second. Shout out to every one of you. I love women because I'm a woman, of course, and so I say shout out. Well done, women. So the theme for this International Women's Day is inspiring inclusion. Inspiring inclusion. And I would love to address an unpopular opinion or question in that regard. And the question is, what if you are the one excluding yourself? What if you are the one excluded and you are the one actually excluding yourself? So before you go ahead thinking about including women in low-income countries, low to middle-income countries, the less privileged women, before you go about thinking about that, think about yourself. Have you included yourself? Imagine all the amazing things you're depositing and giving to the world. Are you taking time out, taking a step back to self-restore, to preserve yourself, to maintain yourself? Or are you just pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring? Guess what? It's not a curse. If you keep pouring and pouring the way you are going now without taking a break, it's possible that you won't be here for too long. Because this body is mortal. It requires maintenance. It requires care. It requires nurture. All the care that you're giving out to people there, First of all, prioritize yourself. Include yourself. I'm here to inspire you, woman out there. Include yourself. Prioritize yourself. If you want to impact for much longer, if you want to be here for much longer, you have a responsibility of care over this gift that God has given to you. You need to stop self-sabotaging. Stop neglecting yourself. You're mortal. You're human. So, my charge to you this morning is for you to include yourself. We're talking inclusion. Look inwards first. Let it start from here. Let it start from within. Let it start from you. Take a look at the woman in the mirror. She's the one who needs to be included first. Before we look out there, let's look at ourselves first. Are we caring for ourselves enough? Audre Lord, an American writer and professor, said something very wise. She said, self-care is self-preservation. Self-care is self-preservation. Hello. Thanks for joining me. So she said, self-care is self-preservation. And another wise woman called Ruth Oni said, your body is the vehicle to your goals, visions, or dreams. So all those aspirations, all those amazing things that God has deposited in you, that you intend to give to your world, guess what is going to lead you there? Guess what is going to be the vehicle to get there? I'm looking for another word for vehicle. I can't quite find any right now. What's going to transport you from where you are now to the goals and dreams and the impact you want to deposit in your world? It is your body. And that's why you need to preserve it. You need to maintain it. You have a responsibility to care for it. If you don't take the responsibility of caring for you seriously, like I said earlier, it's not a curse. It's not magic. If you don't care for something, it won't last. It's that simple. If you don't care for a thing, it won't be there for you to use for as long as you want to. Think about your car. Think about your house. If there are no maintenance activities routinely ongoing, it's going to collapse. Imagine just parking a car for days and weeks and months on handing. You're not servicing it. You're not starting it. You're not fueling it. You're not putting water where you should put water. What's going to happen? The car is going to stop working forever. It's the same thing that applies to our body. We cannot just keep pouring and giving and all that. We do as women. We give, we care, we're just nurturers naturally, but we forget ourselves. And that's why I'm here to remind you that as we go into the International Women's Day celebrations and start thinking of all the innovative ways to include people, include women, think including yourself first. Think prioritizing yourself. Think caring for yourself. Because before you can impact well, you need to be whole. You need to be well. You need to be healthy. You need to be fit. Why then do we struggle to care for ourselves? Because self-care is not a new word. It's not something new. It's been existing for years, since the beginning of the world. But why do women struggle to prioritize that or to take it as something important? Why do we struggle to see it as something important? There's several reasons. There's several things. But the first thing I'd like to address is the mindset blocks, because it all begins from the mind. And so if we don't address the limitations in our minds, it will be difficult for us to take actions. So first, today, as I'm inspiring you to include yourselves, I'm going to highlight some common mindset blocks that hinder women from actually caring for themselves, from preserving themselves, from maintaining themselves. You hear of women, dying so early. There are several factors, but I also believe that a critical reason is because we are overworking ourselves. We are overworking ourselves and we're not managing our bodies and ourselves well enough. You use it as if it is not mortal, as if it's immortal. If you're a child of God, it's your spirit that is immortal, it's not your body. So it requires management. Everything has a depreciation. Everything goes into depreciation. It depends on how you manage it. So it's very important. When you think self-care, think self-management, think self-preservation, think self-restoration. Okay, let's go into the mindset blocks. The first one is self-care is selfish. Self-care is selfish. So when people hear self-care, women, and mostly men, they're like, oh, these women, they've started again. They're so selfish, always thinking of themselves. But guess what it is? You know, when you are on a flight and they say, put on your mask first before you try to help others, even if your children and your husband is there, they'll tell you to save yourself first. That's what self-care is. It is not selfish. It is you making sure that you are there and available to save all these other people. Because guess what? If you're dead, who's going to save them? They're going to save themselves. But you need to be alive to give what you want to give. So self-care is like you putting your oxygen mask first before trying to assist others. I strongly believe that this falsehood of self-care is selfish started from the era of women being expected to be sacrificial. Yes, we are nurturers, and as a nurturer, you tend to put others ahead of yourself. But it has now gotten to an extreme where people are now self-neglecting, where people are now self-sabotaging their own health. You go on starvation all day. You don't eat. I'm so busy. You're trying to show that you are as hardworking as your other colleagues that are maybe on your male counterparts. And so you don't find time to go on your break. You don't eat. You don't nourish your body. And when you end up eating, guess what you eat? Junk. Because you don't want people to feel like, oh, I'm prioritizing myself, or I'm making myself look important. Self-care is not selfish. It is self-preservation. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. It's best to give from your overflow. Fill your cup. When it's overflowing, then you can easily give to others. Self-care is vital for the maintenance of your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. When you are in a great state of well-being, you will be more present and available to effectively support others. When you are well, you're doing great. Guess how the quality of the care you give would be, or the quality of your outputs at work, or the quality of your outputs at your other engagements. The quality will be very top-notch because you're whole, you're full. But if you're pouring from an empty cup, you're giving nothing, you're giving junk, you're giving rubbish, because you are not whole yourself. So when you're thinking self-care, think self-preservation, think self-maintenance, right? That's the first myth addressed. I hope I've been able to inspire you that self-care is not selfish. The second popular myth is that self-care is indulgent and expensive. Self-care is not indulgent and expensive. It doesn't have to be. Yes, there are expensive types of self-care, but it doesn't necessarily have to be those expensive options. Self-care is simply recognizing your needs and meeting them. It is about listening to your body. Self-care can be as simple as you taking a 5-minute nap. How expensive is that? Self-care can be as simple as you hugging a loved one. How much is that? Self-care can be as simple as you laughing heartily, like having a good laugh. I think YouTube videos and all these funny Instagram videos can help you. How expensive is that? Self-care is simply you listening to your body and giving it what it needs per time. If you think you need a break, take a break. And I believe that this mindset of self-care is so expensive comes from Instagram posts, Instagram videos where somebody goes to an expensive island and they're like, oh, self-care, this is me doing my self-care. It can be that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be just that. Self-care should actually be even daily. It should be routine. It's not once in a year or twice in a year. It's daily, because the baskets of life are constantly hitting you. So you should also be prepared, be proactive in reacting to those things. Is it proactive in reacting? I don't think that's correct, but be proactive in dealing with those things. That's what I'm trying to say. So self-care is not that once in a year or once in a quarter spa that you go for, that massage that you go to get. That's not necessarily, that's self-care, but it is more routine. That it should be more routine than that. It should be daily, and it can be the simple things. It doesn't have to be expensive. It's you routinely maintaining balance and attending to your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. You're feeling your mind is so clogged. Take a walk. Go and take in nature, fresh air. Meditate, journal. Those are self-care activities, my brothers and sisters. It doesn't have to be something big and huge until I'm able to afford a trip to the Bahamas before I've done self-care. No, don't get it twisted. Self-care is not necessarily expensive. It is the little things. It is the little things. You setting your table at home and dishing your food in a way that somebody thinks, are you on vacation? My friend is always sending me pictures of food that she's eating, and it's looking as if somebody is on vacation. Like, how are you how are you dishing food like this? Like you're in a proper restaurant. That can be self-care, and it's the same food you're planning to eat before. Just dish it in a nicer way. Set it on the table. That can be your own form of self-care. Food is some people's love language. If it is for you, just go all out with your food. Eat like a queen. Thank you. Eat like a queen. So self-care doesn't have to be expensive. It is the little things. Literally, it is the little things. I remember I bought my small plant. Her name is Cedar. Is he a boy or a girl now? But her name is Cedar. It's International Women's Day. So her name is Cedar. And that was a form of self-care for me. I just needed to buy something for myself that I can nurture and call mine. So that can be self-care, and it didn't cost me. It's not expensive. Self-care doesn't have to be expensive. I don't want this video to be so long because my friend is here. I'm talking too much. Okay, so that's the second mindset block that we need to address. Self-care doesn't have to be expensive. It can be the smallest things. It's just you listening to your body. What's my body? Is my body asking for a break now? Please take a break. Okay? Right. The third myth and the final myth I'll be addressing on this video is self-care is time consuming. No. It doesn't have to be. Self-care doesn't take so long. It doesn't have to take so long. Because when you think of, booking a massage, and then I have to drive there, or take a bus there, and then I'll have to wait and get the massage done, and start, I don't have that time. Or you're thinking a 1 week long vacation or a weekend vacation. I can't afford that in terms of time. I don't have that time. I can't go. Self-care doesn't have to be time consuming. Just as we said earlier, it can be as simple as taking a few minutes walk each day, engaging in deep breathing exercises. Just 60 seconds. There are different kinds of deep breathing exercises online. So you're feeling choked and stressed. 60 seconds. Did I say 60 minutes? 60 seconds. Just do deep breathing. There might be some that are looking complicated, but the simplest one I've found is you just being mindful of your breaths. Just sit still and hear yourself breathe. That's a powerful type of self-care, and it doesn't take so long. Just 60 seconds, you are good to go. Or I'm going to ignore you. Or engaging in a hobby that you enjoy, or just taking a 5-minute nap. Sometimes when I'm doing deep work, I just set my alarm 5 minutes, take a nap. It wakes me up in 5 minutes. When I wake up, it's as if they've reset my brain. Self-care doesn't have to be so time-consuming. You are at work. I believe you can go inside your car, 5 minutes, close your eyes, set alarm, and wake up in 5 minutes. You'll feel so refreshed. It doesn't have to take so much time. It is the little things. Get innovative. Just listen to your body. Pay attention to what your body is asking you to do. It doesn't have to be the same thing that I do for self-care that you will do for self-care. But just open your mind to learn. Open your mind to new ideas and do those little things. It can be as simple as you making your bed every morning. That can be your own kind of self-care. That you feel like, oh, I've achieved something huge this morning. You know, so self-care can take seconds, literally. Like your deep breathing exercises. Like you calling a loved one to just speak for a few minutes. That's self-care, really. Let's not think the big, huge, expensive, time-consuming things. Self-care is possible for you, even if you have the tightest schedule. It is the little things. It is the little things. It is you recognizing and addressing your needs. And it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and resilience. A lot of people cannot understand what their body is telling them. And so that you are so aware that my body needs a break now. This sun is affecting my life. Excuse me, please. Yeah. So you identifying that I think I need to do something for myself now is a sign of strength and resilience. And let me show you even a more excellent way. Can you imagine you scheduling it ahead? Because you know that you need it every day anyways. How about you plan it ahead? Today at 12 o'clock, I'm going to phone a loved one. At 2 o'clock, I'm going to take a 5-minute nap. At 4 p.m., I'm going to paint my nails. At 6 p.m., I'm going to take a 10-minute walk. You've scheduled your self-care activities ahead of the day. And so every other thing revolves around that. Because if you're not whole, you won't be able to give your best. So you have a responsibility of maintenance. Don't see it as indulging or being selfish. See it as maintaining your body. And guess what? This body is a gift that you were given to by God. You have a responsibility to care for it. Because it's going to ask you, how well did you care for this body? Don't go about pouring into other people and being empty to the extent that you have nothing else to give. You're spent and then diseases start coming in. Don't do that to yourself. Care for yourself. Include yourself. Include yourself. Include yourself in the care, the nurture, the contributions, the impact that you're giving to this world. Prioritize you. Pay attention to yourself. The more cared for you are, the better the quality of your outputs. Somebody here is saying that you can go to a friend's house and eat her food. See? It actually works all the time. Real life experience. I remember one day I was feeling very low in the morning. And I just called my friend. I'm like, okay, are you at home? Do you have oats? Please make oats for me. I'm coming. I literally went to, I have oats in my house. So, but I'm like, no, I'm not eating this oats in the house. First, I need to take in fresh air. And I need to change the environment. And that was my self-care, and I felt so much better after that. So self-care is the minutest things, it's the smallest things. Don't complicate things. Okay, at this juncture I'm going to wrap up this live. I intended to use 10 minutes. It has entered over 20 minutes, and so I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me. I hope I inspired you to include yourself on this journey to equality and everything for women. Prioritize yourself first, okay? Include yourself in the care, include yourself in the nurturing, include yourself in the impact. And I wish you all a wonderful celebration of this International Women's Day, Mother's Day, Women's Celebration Month generally. We all deserve the celebration and all the love and joy and amazing things that we get this period. Keep being the best version of yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. Thank you for joining me. Thanks.